Hey everybody, it's me Hennessy and this is Luminity and I'm back to give you another reading. Today I want to talk about working with spirits, in particular those in the Yoruba or like Santeria religion, such as Oshun, Jango, Santa Muerte. And today I'm going to use Santa Muerte because she came to visit me. She's here with me and her presence is very beautiful. She's not in part of my normal spiritual team, and she's a very strong force. And she was kind of like, "Hey, I'm down to be on board on your team if you want to fuck with me." And I've had this with many spirit guides happen, where they come in, they visit me for a bit, and they're like, "I want to work with you. Do you want to work with me?" And I don't really add them to my team, but I do respect them. And I want to talk about what I do because I don't want anybody, these spirits could get offended. These spirits are like humans. So if you're like, I think it's to take caution with how you approach them and how you speak to them. And how even if you send them off and you don't want to work with them, there's still a right way to do it. And that's because it's to cover your ass, because if they feel disrespected, they could do some shit, God forbid. But the other part is the fact that you're working with these spirits are just so powerful and are so humanistic, like so human. You know what I mean? And they're very strong in the 3D world, and this is, I think, where they hold a lot of power. It's like, from my understanding of these guides, they're like they really can channel. They could, like, it's not that they walk among us, but they kind of do. They're just from different places of dimensions. I want to say, like, angels. You know where they're from? They're from heaven. They hate the hierarchy. There's a hierarchy. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. The angels. The seraphim, the archangel, the regular angel. I can't even think right now. But the fallen angels, like, that's still like all like parts that are, where they come from, which is like heaven, or the place up above, 5D, 4D, whatever dimension. You know what I mean? But these guys are so material, and I just want to talk more about that and explain that, and hopefully bring some enlightenment to somebody who was considering working with these deities, and some help to those who open the door and don't know how to close it, because it's a very hard door to close once you open it, especially if you're uninitiated and you're working as a single witch. It's not a fun. I am not in part of any thing, but and I think it's extra for those witches who work alone, or readers or spirit guides or mediums, to be very, like, because you got to really cover your ass, because you just really have to cover yourself as your soul. It's like no protector between your soul and the thing, right? I think if you're working in a coven or you have other people with you, there's strength in the fact that there's like ancient knowledge and there's like rules that are followed and precautions taken, versus when you're a single witch and you're just beginning, or you haven't found that yet, you can actually really get yourself into a lot of trouble with spirituality and magic and all that stuff. And I guess this is when we're coming more into the magical side of spirituality, the side that's a little bit more, ooh, wow, that doesn't exist. Because people just are, number one, hella ignorant to it. Number two, just didn't grow up with it, or like just don't. But like some people just don't. Are like, so it's really sad too to have that like beaten out of your system, to forget who you are is basically the sleeping being. But so in a lot of process of awakening, when you do start communicating with these guides, often they're starseeds, right? You're talking to Ashtar, you're talking to Archangel Michael, or you're dealing with Metatron, the real spiritual beings of ascension. You're working with the Pleiadians or Lemuria. I think more Pleiadians, because they're all about unconditional love and light. So they're the ones that are really grounding this 5D realm here. And then, yeah. So we have to remember that everyone also has, like, all of these different collectives have these different missions, and we're just channels and beings and mediums, and that we're receptive to all of them. And you can say it's crazy, but I think if Sally in Oklahoma and Paul in India both see the same fucking thing, and they have the same vision, or like of the same being and the same communication and the same light language, and they never met, then it's not a coincidence, and it's not crazy, and it's not psychosis. It's literally called channeling. It's just so frustrating, I guess, when people just like think this is bullshit. And that's why they get into trouble. And then this is where this is where the video is coming from, because I can sense her frustration, especially right now. She's really the one that's guiding me to push this video. And it really is a warning, just when you're working with gods, and how to respect them and how to treat them. So, sensing your guides. How do you know who wants to work with you? You will definitely pick up inclinations of who wants to work with you. You will either see them everywhere. You will start suddenly having a desire for their foods. You would they'll come to minds more often, or you'll run into more things. I have 2 instances. Last week, my friends, we were shopping. I was in Jersey. We were just chilling, right? And every like place that we went, it was something with a watermelon. Like, she pointed out, we were at a fabric store. She's like, oh, this watermelon fabric is really cute. She was like, I've been craving watermelon. She just kept like talking about it, and I was just like, look up whose offering that is, because I feel like you're getting channeled something. And I had a thing, it was Yamaya, but I don't know her background and if she is aware of that Santeria, because I'm Afro-Caribbean, I'm Dominican. So, yeah. And lo and behold, it was Yamaya, and I was like, she just wants you to give her, buy a watermelon and just talk to her, because she's around you, so just acknowledge her by giving her some shit. That's what she wants. That's why she keeps bothering you. And I was like, she's a really nice. I was just like, she's one of, she's not that scary. Like, just give her with love. She's like the mother of water. And I was just trying to kind of walk her through it, because I was like, I don't know if I should like initiate you into this, but I'm not initiating you. You already picked up the deity, right? And she's like very psychic, in her own right. She just doesn't know yet. But anyway, so that was one example. And she did the offering, she did the cleansing, and it's working. Positive stuff happened immediately after. And I can tell, because she had a problem before. She told me about something that she didn't know, and then I hit her up and she was like, oh yeah, like I figured it out. And I was like, oh, okay, there you go, thanks, Yamaya. But so Santa Muerte, I know that she came to me because I was being led to stuff with Kali, and I was like, it's the goddess Kali, Santa Muerte, and they have a lot of similarities. And I would know Santa. I'm not gonna keep calling her the whole name. I'm gonna know Santa through Kali, because that's just more of the power that I can identify. So they're always gonna try to talk to you, speak to you in ways that you would recognize. They'll give you symbols and stuff. And I have this book of goddesses and heroines. I just flipped to a random page, and I was reading about this like a few days ago. And I was just we do have similar things that we like, I admit, looking at her offerings. And just things that I was like inclined, and whatever. So point is, I knew she was around. Eventually, finally picked it up, did the research. So that's how you... Is that helpful? So let's run that back. They'll speak to you through... You will either see them everywhere, meaning you will start seeing, let's say it's not Santa Muerte, but Santa Malta. She works with snakes. Maybe you'll start seeing a lot of snakes. You'll start seeing a lot of green. She has big curly hair. She's very morenita. Maybe you'll see a vision. Maybe you'll see something passing. Or, yeah, her full name is La Dominadora. So, which has a lot of similarities to me and in retrospect to Archangel Michael. Why can't I speak when I record? Like, I speak well. Like, I have conversations outside of this camera. And yeah, maybe sometimes they sound like this, but whatever. Maybe I just need to speak better. But yeah, you'll just start picking it up, or you'll be led to spiritual songs or certain songs. So songs, seeing them, thinking about their food offerings, catching anything that you read, being basically whatever intuitive insight they'll let you in that they're around. Remember that we can sense spirits through so many things. That we have a lot of senses, and certain spirits can activate certain senses or not. And depending on the senses that you use and how open and how worked your chakra is, then you can probably just see them. You can talk to them in your third eye. You know they're there, which is honestly the easiest way. It's just the easiest way. It's just like, tell me you're here. But yeah, often no, spirits linger around for a few days and then they make themselves known. Which is why it's always important to cleanse your space, because you don't know who is around you. You don't know who's visiting you. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't invite that spirit in my house. This is not a Disney Channel movie, and these aren't vampires. This is real life shit. And I don't ever knew about a devil playing fair. Okay? That being said, let's say you don't want to work with them. You're like, this guy's around me and I don't really want to do this because I'm scared. This is where my thing with Santa Marta comes in. I think it's very honorable when spirit guides come in and they want you. They're like, I want to be on your team. I love you. Let me help you. Because that's really what it is. It's like, you have your team. You have your guardian angels. You have the people that you channel. You have your guides, your ancestors. And then you have direct angel. I guess I work more with angels. So that's why I'm like, I have my angels that I work with. And that's kind of my initiation. My growth, my pact into my spirituality was through my angels, was through that arena. So I don't know how everybody else's ascension process or how they, are brought into this. Again, it's all different. It's all unique. And what you said, signed, pact, or whatever during your time. When it was your time, right? And if you haven't had that yet, then I'm sorry. Maybe this reading isn't for you. Because you're like, this sounds really intense. Like, I don't do any of this. I just bought a tarot deck from Urban. I bought a Oshun candle from Urban. Oh, Christ. That shit hurts. Stop. Don't support that. Don't buy spiritual stuff from commercial places. Please. Like, unless you're a witch. Like, seriously. It's like so disrespectful. It pisses me off. Like, this should not be here. Just because, like, this is not, it also, the energy of where you buy the things that you're buying them from and the purposes that you're using that from does affect it. And it's like a Ouija board. Like, there are reasons why you don't bring a Ouija board into your house. It's literally like bringing a fucking portal of negativity. It's just a portal into your house. I mean, it's crazy. And you would think, and you know why it's so wide? I think it's widespread and stuff like that because, like, the upper, am I going to talk about it on YouTube? Anyway, if you don't want to work with them, what you do is you can have, but you have to acknowledge their presence. Acknowledge them. Remember, they're human beings. And these human beings will fuck you up. So acknowledge, like, hey, what's up? How are you? How is it going? Hang out with them for a while. Like me and Santa were chilling, but I'm not gonna do it because she requires a lot of work, and I'm just can't. I'm sorry. My guys know how I am. That's not how I work. It's gonna seem like too much work, and it's not gonna be fun for my spiritual journey to work with you. I'm sorry, but here are the offer. I'm gonna give you stuff. I'm gonna give you something though, homie. Thank you for stopping by and communicating with me and shining your beautiful light. I'm going to give you a candle. I'm going to give you your offerings. I'm going to hook you up for a second. I'm going to give you a little spot temporarily on my over. And I know she likes her own separate altar. I know she doesn't share this particular spirit. But I'm talking about in any spirit. Like, you just give them a what's up because they literally came to see you and to help you out. And that's the least you can do to a friend, right? So that's it. And do it out of the goodness of your heart. And now you're like, well, I don't know if I could do it out of the goodness of my heart. Well, then that's something that, then I don't know what to tell you. You better figure it out because they're like not bad, you know. And I think it's very easy to fear very strong entities like that. But if you don't fuck with them, they really won't do anything bad to you. And they're not here to harm you. Trust me, they're really not. And when people are like, oh, I worked with so-and-so and they did something bad about me, it's usually because the other person couldn't keep up their side of the deal. And that's where we're going to talk about petitioning. Because offering, you can offer I offered her stuff, but I'm not asking for anything back. It's just like, here it is. Here you go. Bless, like, if you want to bless me, you could bless me, but like, yeah, talking to you is kind of enough because because this is cool. This is like what I do. And it's nice to have, just to be protected by someone so strong. Like, and her energy is very nice. I'm not going to lie. But it's, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that's great because it's true. And I think she's a great example of a deity or whatever you want to call it that is great power and great responsibility. Okay. So when you're petitioning and you're like, hey, I want something, I want this person to fall in love with me. That's often what it is. I'm gonna give you this and I'm gonna do that. You set up the altar and you do the spell work. Okay. There's something that's, when you do that with a thing, with a worker, deity, you can do the spell with them, but that doesn't mean that the petition is over. Understand that when they're doing a favor for you, you need to do a favor for them. And they decide when it's up for you. Understand? Okay. Like, if you want someone to fall in love with you, and this person does not like you, and you're actually asking these spirits to go ahead and violate this other person's free will for your selfish reasons because you don't love yourself, and they're like, all right, well, every Tuesday I want you to give me chocolate for the next 10 years. I want you to clean my altar 3 times a week. I want you to cook rice for me on Sundays for the next 3 months. Whatever they tell you, they want from you. And if you don't do it, that's when shit starts happening. When you do it up to the 5th week or the 4th year, or the last to the very last. Oh, you do 4 months and 4 years and 11 months. That still doesn't count. That's not the whole thing. It's not the whole. That's like separate from the spell. Because you asked for my assistance, so I'm here and I'm giving it to you, and this is what I want. You want it, I want it. You don't want to give me what I want, I'm gonna take everything and I'm gonna fuck your shit up. Because the thing about that is especially when you keep saying that, because that's really like what it is. It's like, especially if you do spells that violate people's free will, it does come back. It comes back in threes. Everything that you put out comes back in. And it's not that they aren't your friends, but you have to understand that they're like very universal and very karmic. They're like scale balancers. They can fuck up the karma. And there's something so special about these deities is the fact that they can really, it's like they have like they can like literally, there's like certain rules. I think they just don't really apply to them in terms of like good or bad, because there's no such thing as real good or bad, right? There's just events that happen. And what would seem as really bad for us would be them probably just taking their just dues, or like teaching a lesson that needed to be taught because of the spell work because of the nature of the spell work that you did or you had done, especially in terms of love spells. Please don't do love spells. I feel like I tell people that, but it's just like I see them often, like online, and I'm like, this is so like this is not good for you. Don't do spells that go against people's free will, and please do not do black magic. Don't do any sort of magic. Don't do even sorry spells. Don't do spells to even, if that person's not sorry, guess what? They're not sorry. Don't manipulate people to do things that you want them to do. It's really sick. And don't like acquire supernatural assistance for that, because it's gonna come back to you. And it's actually the stupidest thing that you can acquire a supernatural assistance to control somebody else. We've all watched cartoons. I said that, but it's true. It's just like with the villain and he's in the cage. That was like, excuse me, such an archetype. And like whatever. It's just, don't do it, please. And I say that because I see the like, as I guess an energy clearer and a transmuter, it just makes my job a lot harder. But anyway, yeah. Use the power of the being, and if you do want to work with a deity, I'm gonna say I forgot why I was working with Saint Expedite. He like came to me one time. Again, Saint Expedite, who probably, I think he is a demigod, it's just in a saint's body. I don't know if he's actually a saint. I have to keep looking at that. He's like based in New Orleans, and a lot of like NOLA New Orleans like always comes up for me. It's really ridiculous the amount of things I see about New Orleans every single day. And at first I was like, this is a real cruel joke reminding me that I can't be home right now. But I guess it's just to like give me comfort that like home is around me and that I'm supported. But whatever. So Saint Expedite, I forgot what it was, but he came. I was going through something. Yeah, I was working on a lot of projects, going through something. I was in school. And he's like, oh, I want to help you. Same thing. They usually come in real smooth. And I did. I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? He said he wanted me to buy him a bouquet every week until he just like didn't need anymore. And that's what I did. And it was fine because I did like that, worked out. And things came in, and probably a lot of provisions and shit that was removed out of my life because of his assistance, because I definitely did notice something different. I felt it. The energy changed how I was feeling. And then I remember like I was gonna go. He was like, I don't need any more. Thanks. You were like, I'm good here, actually. And that was that. And Mercury is so in retrograde. We're about to go in retrograde because my Wi-Fi is messing up. I'm gonna look it up. And like yesterday, it was just crazy. Anyway, so you'll have those conversations with your guides about petitioning, and it's not gonna be about that. Again, is separate from the original spell work, and sometimes the spell take like days. I'm just so lazy, actually. Like, no, when it's a good, no, that's not true. I feel motivated to do really long spells, I will do them, but I often don't. And the dangers of working with these guides and not living up to your end of the bargain. Straight up death. Like, actually, that's just one of the dangers. And tell you, someone very close to you often will die. A child will die. Let's say your child. Like, they will hurt you. It's not, again, you won't understand why, but it's probably just like a soul exchange or some sort of like it again depends on the nature of your spell too. And your heart and your purity and your clarity and where you're coming from. Excuse me. As a person. Because if you're a bad person and you're doing things for gain, for like 3D gain and 3D wants, I'm not saying that's bad, but if that's like a lot of your work, then I think let's just keep it shut. Death is one of the dangers. A lot of hardship, a lot of financial loss, a lot of sickness. I mean, the opposite of prosperity, wealth, and abundance, and mobility and freedom, right? Especially if you try to take somebody else's gain. And I'm like, why? Because I've seen the shit. I've seen it. People's lives. Saw they get hit by a truck. That's fucking crazy. An 18 something truck. Those huge trucks. Her whole body. She's still alive. Cause again, she's a strong one. She has strong guides. She works with Chango, I think, but he's probably protecting her. But shit, you got hit by an 18-wheeler? What were you doing, shorty? Anyway, gain. What you want. Yeah, like whatever you want. Could be beauty, could be like success, fame, other things like that. Help on a test, straight A's, motivation, clarity, whatever you want, you'll get. You'll probably get gifts too, like little gifts from the universe. Like what Santa Marta gives me free food. Like that's something I picked up yesterday when after like really acknowledging her, I got a lot of free meals. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I love this. And that's because she's a goat. And I just want to talk about real quick, what do I do? Because I gave you a list of what to do if you don't want to work with them, how to sense them, the gain, the dangers of working with them, and the petitioning. And that the fact that they're like demigods and real human beings that you should acknowledge. Now, what I do, not to like to super reveal all my stuff, because no, but I just thought of how I was gonna light a Palo Santo, but then I vacuumed it by accident yesterday, and I was just like, oh, that was so sad. I can't get it. I don't know how to open the vacuum. But I don't often work with guides of like them. I am very protected by them and I'm surrounded by them. I acknowledge them and they do visit me, which is nice. And I'll give them what they want when they come by. But I often don't really add them to my team. It was a path for me at a certain point, but I turned it down because I just didn't want to dabble with that level of power on this earth. I mean, there are many levels, but I'm already here on another mission as a light worker, and that's like a completely different thing. Dealing with those guides and how I would do it. Again, we're all unique to we have our unique paths. It just would have been a whole different like course. Oh. But I still respect them and I still love them and I still have very strong ties just because of who I am and where I am from and my family and who they are and what they do. So I will be probably forever protected by them. But I actually don't do black magic. In my contract, I'm not allowed to do black magic or magic that is harmful towards anyone, harmful towards anyone's free will. And it's not that, and that's, I guess, is also why I preach it. Just because that's those things play in the duality thing. What else? As it relates to this video, what kind of magic you can petition for? Oh yeah, sorry. There you go. That's what it is. Thank you. I don't petition. But I did explain that Saint Jude expert, I think. But even that, like, I didn't go to him and I was like, help me, I need this. It was like I needed something. And this is how it usually happens. I'm praying and I'm asking for guidance, and then I'll get them. They'll come and they're like, yo, you called me? What's good? What you want? And I'm like, actually, I'm just gonna give you this, and however you want to solve my problem, you could do that. But my utmost up high is alignment with God. And I don't, because thou shalt not have false idols. And it's not that they're false idols. It's that it's just not part of my thing to work with them. Yeah. Because it is, I mean, you're going to have to remember that they're not above God. And that's the thing, they're not above God. Like, all of these guides, they're not up the most high. We all work under one being. Well, some of us do. Like, Santa Muerte works under God. Like, she is a cohort, and she works with certain angels as well. She doesn't fuck with everybody, but she likes some of them. She's a very sassy woman, and I like that. I respect it. It's probably why she likes me. But yeah, so I just like why am I doing this? I hate when this is happening. I'm supposed to wind down real quick. Okay, sorry. To close this video, that's what I do when it comes to spirits. I normally send them off with offerings, and if they would like to bless me back, then I'm like, that's great, thank you. I acknowledge their help and I say thank you. I talk to them because they're around me. So if there's a guy that's visiting you, just like be nice to them and include them in your thoughts, especially like if you're clairaudient or claircognizant, where you can have the quick communication. It's just easier. You can speak to them out louder in your head, but just actually being aware of that they're visiting you is nice. Because we do have your normal guides, but they're just always there. You know, it's like when a special guest comes for dinner, like, oh, I haven't seen you in a minute. And that's kind of what it is. That's how I work, and I hope this video helped. This was so much longer. Now I have to go, actually. If you have questions or you would like a tarot reading, even though, this isn't about tarot, I have $5 readings. You can email me at luminity luminity.light@gmail.com. I will leave a link below. And if you have any questions or you would like more information about this or any clarity, just feel free to reach out and I will do my best to come back to you. Like, yeah. Be safe. Love yourself first. And bless these spirits because they're like here. So be happy if they came by. Okay? Bye.